protecting the environment has to be.
What we're saying is have a heart.
We've got to be able to regenerate our
There'll
economy.
be people who are kind, people who are cruel, but that's life. You can be bitter about veganism. I'm fine with that.
You know, as a mother, if I'm working the whole day, I'm also too tired to. So who's going to cook what?
Yeah.
What do? Convenience food.
Yeah.
7-Eleven, grab something. McDonald's, grab
Right.
something. Like, okay, how does McDonald's serve 1 billion burgers a day? The only way to do that and prove that it's 100% beef is by jamming it with other stuff to stretch.
Yeah.
So what are we ingesting? I mean, that's my point in all of this.
I think that's the quality of the food is critical.
Absolutely.
You know, as I've said to many people, nothing in Singapore can be classified organic because the soil, the air, your neighbor, etc. must all be very clear. But like my farm, we do not add any more pesticides, chemical pesticides or chemical fertilizer. And we make sure that the food that we serve in the restaurant is good food. That means we buy from the Singapore farmers, and even where the Singapore farmers use chemicals, it is so well controlled, right? Look, 95% of our food comes from abroad. Do they actually check everything? What percentage do you check, right? And plenty of food come from country where people will poison the children with milk. Do you trust these countries? And that's why I worry, because the
What do you mean poison? You're talking of
look at milk, melamine milk.
Melamine milk, yes.
You know, I mean, to put melamine into milk, and most of our food, a lot of our food comes from China. Do you really trust to eat that food? Seriously, right? But you know, how much of it do we really check to make sure it is safe? And I think the government should do something serious about it before it's too late. It's not just that you become fat. You probably end up having cancer or something like that, which is even worse.
You ingest stuff. I mean, like in my country, we're great pork eaters, and I've seen
your country, the Philippines.
The Philippines, yes, and I've seen many cases out in the countryside where they have the feed that goes to the piggeries, and what's in the feed is what's really scary. It encourages larger litters of piglets. Okay, so what happens? We ingest that.
Yeah.
You know, and so people wonder, oh, you know, I don't really eat so much, but you know, how come I weigh so much? Well, you know, cut down on the pork or go vegetarian. I mean, alter your eating habits, you know, because you really have to read every single label. For me, I just go by rule of thumb. If a label looks like an encyclopedia, forget it, drop it. I'm not even going to touch it. Because I want to make sure that what I'm giving myself, I mean, like what you were saying about when I had my children, when they were inside, I was very careful about what I ate. I tried to go as organic as I could possible and tried to be healthy as possible with my eating habits. So I could also produce quality milk, so I could breastfeed my children, you know, and I was glad to say that I breastfed my younger daughter for 18 months and my first one for 10. I had to stop because I was pregnant with the second one. So, you know, good quality food definitely equals a healthier body.
Is it true that cottonseed oil is used in like chips and stuff like that to make it additive? Is it
Addictive?
True? Yeah, addictive.
Well, I've not heard of that, but
it's cottonseed oil, isn't it?
Cottonseed oil is quite well used, but the most predominant oil for frying French fries is palm oil, because it's the cheapest and the most exhaustively consumed around the world.
Yeah.
But fat per se is something that our palate likes, because we come back to our historical evolutionary past. We had to eat fatty foods to gain energy, and this is what I come back to again and again. Why do we like sweet food? Because it gives us energy. Why do we like fatty food? Because it gives us energy. So therefore, when we were hunter-gatherers, when we had to have little time to gain access to calories, these were things that are neurally networked to us now. So therefore now, we don't have the desire to gain energy as we did in the past. So therefore, we still have the same metabolic network in our body. So therefore, we like sweet foods because our breast milk is sweet. We like fatty foods because that's the way our palate is actually programmed. And in terms of the hierarchy, the most satiating food are high protein diets, followed by low GI diets, which is low carbohydrate diets or low calorie energy content diets, and thirdly, the least satiating is fatty foods. So that's why we love fatty
When you
foods.
say satiating, you're saying that you don't feel hungry after eating
Absolutely.
it. But then you get more pleasure out of eating it.
Yeah, a mixture of both.
In Malay, there's this word lemak, and lemak comes from
Nasi lemak.
fat, the fatty food, and fat makes the food taste nicer.
I'm afraid so.
So it satiates you in a pleasurable way,
Yeah.
but it does not cut your desire to eat.
No. But the interesting paradox is now we can make certain foods that taste, smells and feels like fat, but has no fat.
With
So for example, we can microparticulate proteins, make the particles of protein very, very small, and it tastes like fat in ice cream. If we take sucrose molecule, we can make it with some fatty acids, and we have what's called sucrose polyester, where you can fry.
is this all natural?
Well, it's synthetic,
It's modified.
modified, but the interesting paradox that I can fry crisps, but the crisps will absorb no calories from the fat because that fat is not digested by the body. So it's quite amazing that
So how advanced is this?
fully advanced. It's
And why doesn't McDonald's adopt it?
well because
Why do the companies
Cost.
adopt it?
because
Is it
for the cost,
expensive?
for the cost, and secondly, if I told all of you around this audience, you're going to eat these chips fried in this synthetic oil, would you want to buy it? When there's natural
So
oil
it is
available.
synthetic. It is
Yeah.
not modified natural food.
Well,
it is synthetic.
it is processed. It is a technological process. But I think what I'm trying to point out is that companies are also thinking ahead of what the consumers need. I'm not prescribing or prescribing it. I'm simply saying, here's an interesting paradox. We love fatty foods because of an evolutionary reason. How do we then actually appease that desire without the calories? Wouldn't that be good? As the metaphor goes, having your cake and eating it.